Let us discuss the sampling methods and methods of distributing our survey. Once we generate the survey URL from Qualtrics, or if you are distributing a traditional paper survey, sampling is very important to get accurate representation of the population's opinions. So, rules of sampling. A sample has to be an accurate representation of the population. But in real life, getting such an accurate sample is always going to be difficult. And there are, even though there are many guidelines as to how a sample needs to be selected, I don't think any sampling method is perfect. So any sampling techniques is prone to error. So as a result, in surveys, I think we cannot strive for 100% accuracy, but we are happy with 95% accuracy. And there are methods where we can, statistical methods, where we can reduce the error in sampling as much as possible. So a population refers to every individual who is qualified to participate in our survey. For example, let us say that we are planning to collect a customer satisfaction survey from customers of Walmart. So the population consists of all the customers of Walmart. But a sampling frame, it clearly defines the population. So even though we generally define the population as customers of Walmart, in sampling frame, we define who do we mean by customers of Walmart. Does it mean people who have shopped in Walmart in the last 3 months? Or does it also include people who have shopped in Walmart before 10 years and have since not shopped at Walmart? Does it also include customers of Walmart.com? Does it include customers of Sam's Club, which again is technically part of Walmart? So we have different questions. So a sampling frame defines the population, and a sampling frame also has methods to define and also to sources. Like for example, let us say that if we say that the population refers to the people of the city of Green Bay, a sampling frame can said to be the telephone directory of the city of Green Bay, which again is prone to some errors because not everybody who has a phone is listed on the telephone directory. People with cell phone numbers, they are not included, and not every Green Bay telephone number that is listed in the telephone directory. People, they live in Green Bay. So there are lots of errors in the population and defining the population in the sampling frame. So we generally select the sample from the sampling frame. So a sampling frame defines the population and also mentions the sources of where to identify the population, and a sample is selected from the sample frame. So there are different sample methods. So one sampling method which is truly random is considered to be one of the best sampling method, but again it is very, very difficult in real life to conduct this sampling method. It is called as simple random sampling method. So in a simple random sampling method, we use the lottery method, for example. So we have a list of all the participants or all the people who are eligible to participate in a survey. So and then we would choose, like let us say if you want 100 sample size of 100, so we will choose the first 100 names in a lottery method. And we can also do like to do this 2-3 times if you want multiple samples. So the difficult thing about simple random sampling is, first of all, getting all the names of the participants and choosing the respondents or the sampling population from the list. So simple random sampling in theory is good, but in real life it is very difficult to implement. So another method is systematic sampling. So in systematic sampling, we choose like every third person, or we choose a systematic method, every third person, every fourth person, every fifth household in a neighborhood, and so on. Another difficulty of systematic sampling is, even though this is a random sampling method, again getting a list of all the people and choosing the second, third, or fourth household or the fourth person is practically very, very difficult. So other than surveys like which are supported by huge research budget, systematic sampling and simple random sampling are going to be very, very difficult to implement. But if we are doing this within, let us say, a classroom or within a company where all the respondents are willing to participate in the survey, we have the name list, then yes, systematic sampling and simple random sampling could be very, very effective tools to be used. In real life, most surveys, most research projects are conducted using convenience sampling method. So convenience sampling method is selecting whoever is willing to participate in the survey. So like for example, let us say that we are surveying people who work in an organization. So we go to the cafeteria during lunchtime and then tell them, hey, I'm doing a survey, we want to fill that up. So whoever is willing, they fill it up. So that is convenience sampling method. So we can understand why this is very, very popular, because it is very easy to do. It is very easy to do. But again, this is prone to error, because only people who are motivated to participate in the survey, people who are interested to participate in the survey would participate. And what about the people who don't participate in the survey? So for example, if we are conducting a survey on employee retention, only people who are loyal to the organization, who are happy towards the organization, might volunteer to participate in the survey. And people who don't want to fill a survey could be the people who are more likely to leave. So convenience sampling is prone to errors. But since it is convenience, it is one of the widely used sampling methods. Judgmental sampling. So judgmental sampling uses the judgment of the researcher. So the researcher thinks like this person has an insight which I think is valuable, and I want to capture that insight in my survey. So you then approach that specific person, ask him or her to complete the survey. So judgmental sampling is good if the researcher's judgment is good, and it is also useful when the population is small and they are known to the researcher, and the researcher thinks that he or she wants the perspective of different departments, different sections. So then you can use judgmental sampling and you can gather the data. Quota sampling method. So in quota sampling method, when the population is diverse, when the population is segmented, and we want the opinion of each segment, like for example, if we do a simple random sampling and then we find that males are 75% and females are only 25%, so then we decide that is not representative. We want both males and 50% and females 50%. So we want people of all ethnicities to be represented in our survey. So then we use quota sampling. So then we decide our survey should be 50% male, 50% female. Our survey should be like this percentage, this ethnicity, and so on. People who live in Northeast, people who live in Midwest. So whatever is the geographic or demographic requirements of the survey, we do that by fixing quotas. And then if a certain population is not adequately represented, then we specifically go out and collect the data from that specific population. So that is quota sampling. So, but in real life, many businesses, many marketing research companies use market research panels. So market research panels constitute people who are part of a market research organizations panels. So there are a lot of marketing research organizations, like for example Qualtrics. They not only distribute the survey tool, but Qualtrics also has panels. So anyone can go to Qualtrics website and they can apply to become a panel member, and then like depending upon our eligibility criteria, like for example our geography, like for example we live in the Midwest. So if Qualtrics wants to distribute a survey to people in Midwest, people who are males, females, age above 50, age under 40. So based upon the geography, demography and other characteristics, if a respondent wants to distribute a survey to a specific type of population, then Qualtrics will distribute the survey to its panel members, and the panel members will get money for filling out surveys. So there are, other than Qualtrics, there are many organizations which have their panels where volunteers who are paid are willing to take surveys. They are professional volunteers who are willing to take surveys, and anyone can approach Qualtrics. So they charge somewhere around, depending upon what type of survey you want to distribute. Like if you want a survey only among CEOs of small businesses, obviously that's going to cost more than, let us say, if you want to distribute a survey among high school students in the state of Wisconsin, so on. So there are business to business panels, business to consumer panels, and if you want specialty panels to run focus groups, so if you want high school teachers, if you want entrepreneurs, if you want small business people, so multiple types of panels are available. So panels charge, so there's marketing research organizations, they charge a lot of money. So like for example, for a survey with 500 participants, you could be paying anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for conducting such surveys. So Qualtrics is one example for a company that runs such panels. So Amazon Mechanical Turk. So Amazon, if you Google Amazon Mechanical Turk, it also has a panel which is comparatively very, very cheap. Like some surveys would hardly cost 10 cents per respondent. So I'm just giving an example. So it depends upon the type of audience you want for the survey. So it could anywhere be between 10 cents, 25 cents, $1, $10. But comparatively, Amazon Mechanical Turk is very, very cheaper than Qualtrics. But again, Qualtrics has higher price and also higher quality compared to Amazon Mechanical Turk. And one problem with using with all these panels is people who take these surveys are people who are professionally taking multiple surveys. So one question is, are they really representative of the general population? And in a given day, like for example, in Amazon Mechanical Turk, some people might be willing to take 20-30 surveys in a given day. So are they really representative of the population? So these are some questions which we have. And you can also buy email lists. So a lot of companies like credit card companies, social media companies, banking companies, a lot of marketing affiliates, they will sell us their email list, and many organizations would have an email list of their customers, so they can be purchased for money. You can advertise in social media sites for email lists and so on. So NCP, National Consumer Panel, so that is an example. So anyone can become a member of the National Consumer Panel. So they send you surveys every week and you get money to participate in the survey, and you can also approach them to distribute your surveys. So they have an app where you can easily take surveys on your smartphones and so on. So these are some examples of how surveys are distributed in marketing and also management and in multiple other fields.